Welcome back to our Wcix election special. There's a big vote in the Mahomet area tonight. People asking to vote for a second referendum. Close to $60 million from taxpayers. Here are the numbers we would love to show you, but here's the thing. We don't have any vote totals in Champaign County. That's because there was a change in how people are voting there. So we want to get all of that explained to you. So we're going to go straight to WCI3's Scarlett O'Hara. She is live there in Mahomet. Scarlett, explain why Champaign County, we're not seeing any numbers yet.
Well, see, here in Mahomet, the school district has been wanting to replace this building behind me for months. The superintendent told me just a little bit ago he's excited to see these results come in, but they're going to take a bit longer this time because now voters can use any polling location in Champaign County, and now those polling locations have been closed for 2 hours, but we're going to still be waiting to see these results. And when they first had this referendum on the ballot back in June, it was about $98 million, and that referendum failed 2-1. So they made some changes, and now they're asking for about $59 million. And Superintendent Dr. Kenny Lee told me the district will respect any decision voters make tonight, and he's excited to see results come in. He also said he's confident the district communicated their needs to the community online, by mail, and through tours of this school. And what they really need, they say, is more space. The district says the building is just too small and outdated to keep up with growing enrollment. It's 278 kids over capacity and counting. So if it doesn't pass this time, they say it's back to the drawing board to figure out how to make more space. Now, as we said, we don't have those results yet, but we will bring you more updates as we get them. Reporting live in Mahomet, Scarlett O'Hara, WCIA3, your local news leader.
All right, Scarlett, thank you so much. Another school vote in the Crescent Iroquois School District. They are voting to close the junior high school because of a teacher shortage, and that is happening in that community. We have all the precincts in. The junior high will close, and those kids there will have to choose other schools where they want to go. A couple of other law enforcement votes in Edgar County. The vote for sheriff, we have a winner declared here. All precincts in, and Jeff Wood has earned a third term over the Kansas police officer Doug Cochran, his Republican challenger. To Christian County, Bruce Kettlecamp, the incumbent, 11 years as sheriff, and he earns some more. Bruce Kettlecamp winning this race, 73% to independent candidate DJ Mathen, the Kincaid police officer, had 27% of the vote. Some fire protection district questions. Hickory Point wanting to raise taxes to pay for 24-hour ambulance service in Forsyth, and right now 78% of precincts in, and the no votes are ahead, 58% to 42%. A $300,000 home would have to pay $200 more a year. In Wcia, another tax for ambulance service. It would help pay to keep it going through the fire department. Low votes right now, just 103 votes to 59. I can read those numbers, 64% to 36%. We will watch those totals as they come in. Another tax increase vote in Buckley. This is for ambulance service, and this does pass this referendum, 65% to 35%. Buckley voters also asked to pay more for emergency equipment. We're going to go this one to the next board. Can we see that? Here it is. And 65% voting yes to this as well. No votes, just 35%. A couple of treasurer positions on the ballot today. One of those in Moultrie County. Republican incumbent Stephanie Helmuth winning again tonight. 71% to Chief Deputy County Clerk Pam Witkowski not making it here, the Democrat with just 29% of the vote. In Sangamon County for treasurer, the Democrat Daniel Pittman is behind 36%. Joe Aiello, the former Sangamon County clerk, the incumbent here, is ahead 64% of the vote. To Christian County, clerk and recorder position are won, and Jody Badman wins this one, the Republican, the Christian County Chief Deputy Treasurer, and she has defeated the incumbent, Jackie Wilson, 67% to 33%. Also in Christian County for state's attorney, the incumbent losing here as well, John McWard, the Taylorville lawyer, the Republican winning 58% to 42%. In the Vermilion County town of Indianola, they're asking, can alcohol be sold? And cheers, Indianola. That is a yes, 70% passing this one. To the no votes, 30%. Another alcohol question, this one in South Wheatland Township in Macon County. Should a ban continue? And they're saying no to that. So I guess cheers to them as well. 77% want alcohol to be sold in that area. Now we're going to take a look at some Supreme Court questions. And these are important. We don't usually bring you these numbers, but the balance of power could change in the Illinois Supreme Court depending on the outcome of these races tonight. And the Republican right now, Mark Curran, 41% to Elizabeth Roqueford's 59% in the 3rd district. And this is in northern Illinois. You weren't voting here in central Illinois on this, but this matters to everyone in the state. And we're going to take a look at the next results, if we have them, for Supreme Court, the 3rd Judicial District. Michael Burke, he's the incumbent with 60% of the vote. We're still very, very low vote totals on this one so far, but we'll be watching. All right, coming up, we're going to have a look. Hey, somebody else gets to talk. Let's get Kevin in here. He's going to talk about your 7-day forecast.
This is an election night update from WCIA 3 News, your local election headquarters.
All right, we are watching those numbers come in. Thank you for joining us. The race for governor was called early in Illinois, the race between J.B. Pritzker and Darren Bailey. Pritzker keeping his job, winning this one tonight, earning that second term, 56% to 41%. We have 73% of the precincts in. We are going to go live to Cole Henke, who is in Chicago with the Pritzker Now celebration party.
Well, the governor just left the stage not too long ago, and now the party's kind of thinning out. Only the last remnants of the crowd still here. But Governor Pritzker told this crowd that they had plenty to celebrate. He listed his accomplishments over the past 4 years and said to expect some of the same policy making that led to the state raising its minimum wage to $15 an hour, passing major criminal justice reform legislation in the Safety Act, as well as things like legalizing recreational marijuana and the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Governor Pritzker touting all of those things tonight and saying expect more of that during his second term in office. It won't be that big of long of a turnaround for the governor before he starts working on the Safety Act in particular. Veto session starting next week, and that is the biggest thing on the governor's plate as they are still negotiating with state's attorneys and law enforcement across the state to make some pretty significant changes to that legislation. Look forward to the rest of the night as we continue to cover more races and bring you more results, and we'll continue coverage here from Governor Pritzker's event in Chicago. Reporting in Chicago, I'm Cole Henke.
All right. Cole, thank you so much. Of course, we're still waiting to hear from the Bailey campaign. Governor Pritzker supported the constitutional amendment that's on the ballot, also called the Workers' Rights Amendment. And right now, with 43% of precincts in, the yes votes are leading this one, 64% to 36%. Opponents say that this would raise taxes and drive businesses away. Moving to Congress, the 13th district of the U.S. House, Regan Deering, the Republican, trailing right now to Nikki Budzinski's 53%, Regan Deering with 47%. That is almost half of precincts in. In the 15th district, the Republican incumbent Mary Miller still ahead in this one, widening her lead with 41% of precincts in. The Republican Mary Miller trying to earn a second term over the commodity broker, Democrat Paul Lang. In a school vote, the Crescent Iroquois School District voting yes to higher taxes, voting yes to closing the junior high school because of a teacher shortage there. Students would choose to go to Wcia, Sista Park, or Iroquois West now in the future. In Buckley, it's a vote to raise taxes to pay for ambulance service, and that passes. This is a tax increase, all the votes in, 65% to 35%. Don't go away. We'll be back with more results later in this hour. Go to WCIA.com for more results.
Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Jessica Coons, and Kevin Lighty. This is a special edition of WCIA3 News at 9 on X49, your local election headquarters.
Welcome back to our second half hour of your election coverage on WCIX, as control of the highest offices in Illinois are on the ballot. Besides that, Democrats are fighting to retain their majority in the U.S. House and Senate, with several Illinois incumbents up for re-election this year. We have team coverage tonight, reporters in key locations throughout the state. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Cole Henke is live in Chicago. Renee Cooper and Theodora Coulivares are in Springfield, and we do want to tell you before we go to the numbers that we are hearing the Bailey campaign may be speaking soon. Senator Bailey, as soon as he does, we will go straight live to Springfield to hear what he has to say tonight. But we do now want to show you those numbers for governor, and with 74% of the precincts in, Governor Pritzker with 56% of the vote, Senator Bailey, 41%, the state senator from Southern Illinois. That's just one of the big races we're following. More statewide results in the race for treasurer. Incumbent Democrat Mike Frericks, 45% of precincts in, and he has 59% of the vote. Tom Demmer, state rep since 2013 with 39%. For Secretary of State, Jesse White retiring. That means somebody new gets to have this job first time in 25 years. And that will, this is new. We have a winner declared tonight. Alexi Janulius is your new Illinois Secretary of State with 60% of the vote. AP calling that one 45% of precincts in. For Attorney General, the incumbent Democrat Kwame Raoul running for a second term, And let's take a look at those numbers. Do we have those? There we have the Attorney General numbers. Kwame Raoul, 59%, to Tom DeVore's 39%. In the race for the state comptroller, Susana Mendoza, the incumbent since 2016, she's still ahead, 62%, with 45% of precincts in. To the race for U.S. Senate, Tammy Duckworth has been declared the winner here, earning a second six-year term, 57% of the vote over her Republican challenger, Kathy Salve. The race for U.S. House, the battle for the 13th district, which covers parts of Decatur, Springfield, and Champaign. The Republican Regan Deering, Decatur educator and small business owner, battling it out with Nikki Budzinski, worked in Governor Pritzker's administration and the Biden administration. We're going to take a look at those numbers now. Can we? We've got Deering and Budzinski, and here you have it right now. We've got just a little over half of precincts in, and this one is still too close to call, as many predicted. Right now, Budzinski, though, is ahead 52% to 48%. In the 15th district of the U.S. House, the Republican incumbent, Mary Miller, trying to win this one. 44% of precincts in. Paul Lang, the Democrat, still way behind Mary Miller with 71% of the vote. Okay, U.S. House District 16. This one will be somebody new is going to be elected here. This is a newly redistrict seat. Darren LaHood, the Republican, he is the congressman in the 18th district. He's trying to win here. He has 66% of the vote over Elizabeth Haderline, the city alderwoman in northern Illinois. A hotly contested race for the Illinois State Senate, District 48, with Doris Turner facing Republican Sandy Hamilton. And Hamilton is ahead. Lots of money spent in this one, but still very low vote totals here. Just 15% of precincts in, so we are still watching that. In the 96th district, incumbent Sue Shear still behind here. The nurse practitioner in Decatur, Lisa Smith, is ahead 56% to 44%. And in the 104th district, a rematch from 2018, Mike Marin still ahead. Again, very low vote totals. We are waiting as more numbers roll in to this one. Okay, now everybody in Illinois voted for this. The constitutional amendment that's on the ballot. This is also called the Workers' Rights Amendment. A yes vote means workers have the guaranteed right to organize and bargain collectively. The no's, the opponents feel it would raise property taxes, drive business away. And right now, though, the yes votes are ahead 63% to 37%. We're going to go back to the biggest race of the night. J.B. Pritzker winning a second term as governor. And I think these are new numbers. 55% he now has to Darren Bailey's 42%. And joining us live from the Pritzker campaign in Chicago is our Capitol Bureau Chief, Cole Henke. Cole. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have Cole, but Pritzker did tell supporters that they made history tonight. His speech focused on two things. First, his accomplishments over his first term, raising the minimum wage, legalizing marijuana, improving the state's fiscal health, and the state's criminal justice reform policy, the SAFETY Act. That was, of course, very controversial and talked about. He promised 4 more years of the same kind of policy making. And we are still waiting to hear from the Bailey campaign in Springfield. Again, if they do take the podium, if Senator Bailey is there, we will bring it to you. He still has not conceded this race. He felt it was too early to call, so he's still watching those numbers. We are watching these numbers. Senator Tammy Duckworth wins another term with 57% of the votes so far, 76% of precincts in. As for the balance of power in the Senate, let's take a look at that. Starting the night, Democrats controlled the 50-50 chamber by virtue of Vice President Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote, and they have picked up a seat. So now it is 51-49, but of course, still some races too close to call. To the U.S. House, huge race for the 13th district that runs from the Indiana border all the way to St. Louis. Regan Deering, the Decatur educator, is behind in this race. Nikki Budzinski still ahead, 52% to 48%. Joining us live from Decatur, Theodora Coulivaris. And Theodora, I know it can be hard to hear. It was definitely a loud crowd there in Springfield.
Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. The results are continuing to pouring in tonight, and as you can see behind me, the crowd is eagerly waiting to know who's going to win the Illinois 13th district race. Budzinski is here tonight. She's been talking to supporters, taking pictures with them, but we still have not heard her talk at all. Budzinski is still ahead of Deering, as you've mentioned, but that gap that she's had over Deering has definitely gone down throughout the night. While both candidates have been divided on issues, one of those issues has been labor and unions. Budzinski is the labor candidate in this race. She's worked on labor policies for Pritzker. She's been endorsed by labor unions across the state, including the AFL-CIO, which is one of the largest unions here in Illinois. And Regan Deering has been a big supporter of businesses. She's been endorsed by the Illinois Chamber of Commerce and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Both candidates have also had different stances on the Workers' Rights Amendment, or Amendment 1, on the ballot. Budzinski has said that she does support that amendment, and in the past, Deering has told us that she would not support it. We'll continue to keep you updated as we find out more here from the Budzinski campaign in Springfield. Of course, again, Budzinski has not delivered a speech yet, but once we find out more, we will definitely have that for you. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Theodora Coulivaris, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Theodora, thank you so much. We do have some breaking news. Right before we get to this, Senator Bailey has called Governor Pritzker and conceded, and once we have more, we will go live to Renee Cooper in Springfield. Okay, now let's go to the race for the 15th District of the U.S. House that runs from Champaign south and west. Incumbent Mary Miller running for a second term. She has 72%. We now have half of the precincts in, and she is widening her lead in this race to the 16th district of the U.S. House. It's north of central Illinois. Republican Darren LaHood, the congressman for the 18th district since 2015, 66% of the vote. We have a few more votes in right now. Elizabeth Haderline with 34%. The outcome of these races could tip the balance of power in the House. Going into the election, it was 220 Democrats to 212 Republicans. And right now we are looking at the numbers as they stand tonight on this election night. The Democrats with 233 seats, the GOP with 197. To the Illinois Senate, the 48th district, one of the most expensive races. As they had this election, Democratic incumbent Doris Turner, appointed last year, is behind in this race. Sandy Hamilton, the state representative in the 99th district, is ahead 56%. In the 46th district, incumbent Democrat Dave Kohler, since 2006, we're still waiting for numbers here. His challenger, former intern for Rodney Davis, Desi Anderson. In the 96th district, the nurse practitioner in Decatur, Lisa Smith, 56% of the vote over the incumbent right now, Sue Shear, 44%, a battle of two women from Decatur. In the 104th district of the Illinois House, Republican incumbent Mike Marin, 67% of the vote. Again, very low votes, just 3% of vote totals in. Cynthia Cunningham there with 33%. We have results in real time at the bottom of the screen at WCIA.com. Those will be updated all night long. Up next, they're looking to build a new junior high. How voters turned out tonight.
told me his last plan when they
Okay, I can't see anything. Friends, God bless you. This is amazing. And I do want to tell you something. This isn't part of this speech, but there's still room for a miracle, friends. Okay? Still room for a miracle until all the votes are counted. But from what we know, tonight didn't turn out the way we wanted. But thanks to God, we still have so many blessings. I want to thank my incredible wife, Cindy, through this journey. Cindy's my high school sweetheart and has been by my side every step of the way, being my strength on the good days and on the hard days. I love you. I love my family who has sacrificed so much while we were out on the campaign trail fighting for the future of this great state that we love. And Stephanie, thank you for joining our team. Isn't she great? Stephanie and Bill have worked so hard all across this state to help us get our shared message out, and I'm very excited about her future and our movement. Thank you to the people of Illinois. Thank you for our amazing team and everyone who worked so hard, everyone who voted, everyone who donated, everyone who prayed to help us in our fight to restore Illinois. Your support has meant the world to me and each and every day, and I thank you for that. Friends, the greatest blessing the past 2 years has been hearing your voices, your struggles, the worries that keep us up at night, listening to you. I've been to every county in this great state. We've listened to the voices of working families, parents, taxpayers, law enforcement, and everyday citizens who have been struggling and who've been forgotten. Voices of different faiths, voices of different ages, and voices of different places. Voices from the farms, voices from the suburbs, voices from Chicago, and absolutely everywhere in between. Those voices don't come from people who look the same, and they sure don't come from people who sound the same. But make no mistake, the things that we want, the things that unite us, they are the same, and they always have been. And that is to provide for our families, to be safe, to live lives of opportunity and of freedom. And friends, I can promise you this. I may not be going to Springfield as your next governor, but I will never stop fighting for you. I will never stop listening to your voices. I can't. My family depends on it. I just spoke to Governor Pritzker and congratulated on his win tonight. The challenges are many, but I'm going to do what I always have done, what Americans always have done. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to go back to work. My priorities will continue to be the things that unite us. Protecting our freedoms, bringing jobs to our state, and safety to our streets. Republicans need to be the loyal opposition in Springfield, loyal to our state, loyal to our country, loyal to our Constitution, but in opposition to the radical policies of the Democrats. Friends, we must work together to find solutions for all the people of Illinois. Illinois can be better. Illinois must be better. Our leaders must be better. And J.B. Pritzker, you need to be better. You need to be better for Illinois. You need to be better for our children, and you need to be better for our grandchildren. Friends, thank you so much for being here tonight. Continue to pray. God bless America. God bless this great state of Illinois, and God bless you, and travel home safely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Senator Bailey there conceding the race, 9:45 tonight. Few hours after Governor Pritzker was declared the winner. If you're watching on CBS, we're going to return you back to election coverage. If you're watching at CIX, we're going to take a commercial break and wrap up that newscast.
All right, changing things up here a bit as we talk about some of your weather here tonight. How about temperatures tonight that are cooling back down into the 40s right now? You've got 48 degrees in Champaign, 48 in Danville. Overnight lows tonight heading down into the mid 40s here. But tomorrow, it's going to be another really nice day. Humboldt, high temperatures back into the low 70s. How about Fisher here? You're looking to be just as warm. This is just way above average for this time of the year, but we love this weather. In November, on election day here, we had those highs in the 60s, but it does start to get a little breezy. Winds out of the south and west, 25, getting up to 30 miles an hour, especially as we head into the day on Thursday. But this is the big weather maker coming our way here as we head into Thursday night, Friday morning, a cold front that is going to drive in much colder air across the area, and we are going to see a shock to the system as we go from 70 and 73 down to 36. These are high temperatures, and by the weekend, you've got mid-30s out there. Now, along with that front coming through, there is the potential for a little bit of rain to develop along that front. Now, a lot of these showers are going to dissipate as that front moves in, so I'm not expecting a whole lot. More than anything, it's going to be the big drop in the temperatures as we go from, again, near 70 on Thursday. And then look at the colors changing. You were in the yellows and oranges. Now, here comes the blue, and the blue is going to be much colder air. We're talking 20s. Yes, 20s for lows, and at that, the low 20s. Look at your weekend now. 36 is the high, 22 is the low, and then 37 again there for a high on Sunday. So your forecast here for tonight is partly cloudy with 44 degrees. Tomorrow, a high temperature topping out at around 70 on a very sunny and a warm day there. You can see that the sunshine will definitely hang around, but we're just not going to, have things cool off much until we get into the day on kind of Friday. And that's going to be the big kind of changing day there of the temperatures as we head back down. But it's just amazing to see 36 and 37 for a high temperature there. Those numbers there that, I'm tracking right there, a little bit different from all the numbers that you're keeping up with, which is like a ton of...
We're very spread out, but those vote totals keep coming in, and we're
so
going
much
to
data.
Keep bringing them to you. We're going to take a quick look at some of the top races one more time here on the X. The race for governor. Governor Pritzker winning another term over State Senator Darren Bailey. And we are not going to take a look at those numbers. All right, that's all for your election coverage on WCIX tonight. Stay with us on WCIA3 News at 10 as we continue to watch those totals roll in. Thanks for being here.